Shall we begin?
Alright folks, well join me in Birmingham at the moment. I'm just on my way to up to the Highlands through Glasgow from Birmingham. I'm across Ryder from Birmingham. I'm going to some ferry port, and I'm going all the way to Islay and maybe Jura as well. So yeah, come and join me on this adventure.
Let's begin now.
Oh yeah? Alright, cheers mate. Yeah. Yeah. Cheers. Folks, well this is the boat to Islay.
Repeat, this is not a drill.
Is that all you got?
Let's begin now.
Folks, on the ferry now, on the way to Islay, just getting to load up the cars, and then it's going to be on its way. As you can see, the front of the boat's up at the moment, and the cars on. I think it'd be a good idea for it to go at the moment. Quite a few people on there, I'm surprised no one's out on the deck. Weather's not that bad. Goes.
Morning folks, this is my camping spot on the Isle of Islay, by Portnahaven, right next to Portnahaven on the Yard. This place is called the Yard, right by Portnahaven village, and I didn't do any filming last night because there were so many midges, so I just had to get in the tent really quickly. Couldn't even cook anything. Luckily I bought some supplies from the co-op. By the way, in Portnahaven there's a co-op and a spa, plus there's a independent little local shop as well by the looks of it. So yeah, you got a bit of a choice here actually. There's my view from this tent, and over this way, this is where it's a little bit there's a ferry over there I come over on. That's the view from the Yard. So just walking back into Portnahaven, wait for the bus to where I'm going next. It's really early in the morning. It was really busy yesterday. Right, yeah, so as I said, I'm getting the bus, and if I get dropped off on the bus, it's a bit of a walk to by this beach where I'm hoping to camp. Hopefully it's better than my last night's camping spot. Wasn't great, but it turns out there might have been somewhere better. I didn't really see it last night, quite late, and I was tired, so yeah, the Yard seems to be the best place, the closest place really to camp at Portnahaven Wild Camp. There's no official campsite here, not at this port, so don't want to pay for accommodation, it's so expensive. Hello there folks, so here we got Kilchoman Chapel coming up, and it's also got a cupstone in the actual chapel. The chapel itself is 13th century, and it is dedicated to the Irish monk St. Corran. Yeah, just outside the chapel is a fascinating flat stone marked with a number of cup and ring carvings
tradition says that when the stone wears away, it will signal the end of the world. Yeah, the stone predates the chapel by as much as 4,000 years, so it is said, whether it's true or not, but this is what it says, suggesting that the chapel was built on a site that had long been considered sacred by the islanders. Okay, it was recorded as a roofless chapel in 1794. The chapel as we see it today in this video is a result of restoration in 1972 to 1973. Inside the chapel there's a large number of medieval grave slabs. Some of them were moved inside the chapel from the graveyard that once stood outside the chapel. The earliest of these graves slabs dates to the 13th century. Most interesting is carved with an effigy of a priest in robes. His hands collapsed in a prayer. Yeah, well worth checking out. I was impressed by that actually. Very good medieval grave there. Okay folks, well now I'm on my way to Machir Bay. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it. I'll put the name for it up on the screen as soon as we get near the bay. Actually, this has been voted one of the best beaches in Scotland along here, and I can tell you I've been to a lot of beaches in the Isles and Scotland, and it is not the best one I've been to, but it's definitely up there. It's definitely a good beach, definitely worth visiting, and camping. As you can see, I found myself a good little wild camping spot here. Got the solar panels out, charging my battery for my Maverick Pro drone with the Omi 20 battery pack and the RAV24 solar panel there. Very good solar panel actually. I really recommend it. I've used this solar panel in spring and autumn, and it'll still charge a phone in that sort of time in sort of southern England, in that time of year. You won't be able to charge the Maverick Pro drone battery though with it that sort of time of year. To be honest, to charge the Maverick Pro drone battery, you need at least, I think, 6 hours. I think it was around 6 hours direct hot sunlight in the middle of the summer, as it is now hot summer, and you can't move the solar panels either because the battery doesn't seem to like fluctuations in the wattage or voltage or whatever. So yeah, you've got to keep it in one place. Okay, yeah, folks, this was really strange because this balloon, yeah, it's an unusual looking balloon. I presume it was actually just a balloon, but it is really far from anywhere. And I just can't, and it seemed to have a mind of its own. I'm guessing that was because of the, what do you call it, the heat, the rising, I can't remember what you call it now, you know, what people use when they're gliding. The thermals, that's it, but yeah, very strange it was. Okay folks, well unfortunately, as you'll probably notice, in a lot of this film I made, I'll be doing voiceovers because the wind, as you can imagine, on the Western Isles is almost always windy. Luckily, because that gets rid of the bugs, but sometimes it's not windy, and the odd time I have been able to just use the mic on the thing, but when it isn't windy, it is a bloody nightmare, I have to say, at that time of year, because this was filmed in late August 2018. The midges are absolutely terrible. It only just started raining when I got there. Apparently before this they had a month or two of just dry weather. As soon as I got there it started being warm and rain, so the midges come. Well folks, I can tell you for sure, and I'm 100% sure on this beetle here is not Paul McCartney. folks, so I'm going to have a look around the beach here. As you can see, there's nobody about, but actually in the day there was a fair amount of people about. It was it is peak season after all. Even though it's peak season, as you can see, it's sort of later in the evening now, and there's just no one about really. There was a few people about where there were some camper vans. There was about 3 camper vans parked at the other end of the beach, and this is peak season in summer, and this beach is absolutely stunning. It's not the most stunning Scottish beach I've ever been to, but it's like I said before, it's up there in the definitely up there in the top 10 of Scottish beaches I've been to. I think there's some really beautiful ones around the Hebrides. This being the southern, this is the southern Hebrides, but I'd have to say though, I think the Outer Hebrides probably got the best beaches. But this one is definitely one worthwhile camping at. You can walk camp here. I camped quite further up to catch the wind because I don't want to get any midges. I don't want to camp further down because, you know, I needed the wind to stop the midges attacking me while I'm cooking my food and stuff. So, okay, well, enjoy the drone footage again. Okay folks, well now I'm on the way to Kilchoman Parish Church, and after that I'll be going to a war cemetery, which is a pretty interesting bit of history, quite sad piece of history from the, I don't know, I think it was the First World War. Let me check that out. Yeah, from the First World War. I'll let you know more though when I get there. So yeah, it's just on the way to that area now. Okay folks, so you can see there was only 3 or 4 camper vans here, and people went to sleep quite early, so pretty much had the beach to myself, which was pretty cool. Okay folks, well this is Kilchoman Parish Church, and it was built in 1827. Okay folks, well there was a medieval church built in the same location as the now ruined church is now, and before that even earlier Christian chapel was located on this site. Furthermore, the entire graveyard holds a wealth of grave slabs and crosses such as the Kilchiaran cross. I probably pronounced that wrong, sorry. The Kilchoman cross, which dates back to around the 13th century when the medieval church was built. The beautiful, very detailed Kilchoman cross carved in Iona style. Okay folks, this is Kilchoman Military Cemetery, the last resting place of some of the victims of the sinking of the HMS Orontano, which sunk on the 6th of October 1918. The cemetery contains 74 graves, 71 from the Orontano, of whom 43 remains unidentified and 3 other casualties brought from elsewhere. And also you could read that if you want to know more details about it there. Pause it. I also apologise if I got the pronouncing the name wrong there, which I probably have. Sorry about that. So yeah folks, this actually looks like some old military base, probably from the Cold War era. I could be wrong, but they look like bunkers to me from the Cold War era, not Second World War, First World War. I could be wrong. Also, this is a really beautiful nature reserve. There's a really beautiful beach, which of course I didn't go and see. And apparently there's some natural arches down here, which I totally missed. And also, this would be a fantastic place to wild camp. There is some stock in the field, but it seems to be kind of like an open sort of situation. I'm sure you could wild camp down there. There's plenty of space. And the beach is quite big, and you could camp in the dunes. I kind of wish I did, but I didn't get far enough to where I wanted to go, and I am time limited. So here you see like something that looks like an old radar tower, like you could imagine like some kind of radar on top of here, or aerial from the Cold War era. And going down there you've got the sea, and there's the sand dunes here, and see, as you can see, perfect for camping, wild camping. And also there's a freshwater stream by here, which was actually had water in it, and it hadn't at this point rained for quite some time, or not that I know of anyway. So yeah, definitely a place you can camp. I just didn't have enough food with me all the time, so I had to carry on, unfortunately. But I would have liked to have stopped here for a bit longer. Don't really like having to rush, but you know, sometimes you do. Okay folks, well this is the Ballinaby standing stone, and it is a really tall standing stone, as you will see in this video. It's quite easy to get to from the road, the village. At first I couldn't see it, but when I walked away from the village for a bit, I could just see it just over the hill, and I had to walk all the way back again to go up there. It's a little not boggy to this bit, but if you want to go to the second stone, so there is a second stone which I didn't go to, it's quite boggy. Actually my drone was going out of control because it was so windy. It was hard to control the drone because it was that windy, like as it is on the Western Isles. This standing stone I think is Neolithic, so it's supposedly been put there thousands of years ago. I find it hard to believe though it's been standing like that for thousands of years. I'm sure in antiquity at some point someone's restood it. If it was even meant to be stood up in the first place, it could have been supposed to have been recumbent, who knows. But a lot can happen over thousands of years, so I'm not completely convinced with these ancient standing stones. They probably, who knows what they would have looked like. They definitely would not be anything like they would have looked like originally. After all, thousands of years is a very long time. You know, stones erode over thousands of years, even, you know, really strong stones. So, nevertheless, I'm fascinated by them, always have been. But we have got to be realistic and realise that that stone probably has not been standing for thousands of years without being meddled with at some point. Over the thousands of years, it's been moved about and adjusted, or God knows what else done to it, chopped in half, made smaller, replaced with another stone. Who knows what was there before that? You know, it's all guesswork, basically, archaeology really. But it fascinates me. It does. Like so, yeah. Supposedly it's been there for thousands of years, which, like, maybe in some form or another, but definitely I'd say be very unlikely. It's been like that for thousands of years the way it is now. Incredibly unlikely. Okay, folks, this is one of the most photographed red phone boxes in Islay, and it's also probably the most remote phone box in Islay, and probably
Bloody hell, it's a coin phone box. These are pretty rare.
phone boxes in Scotland. There's fewer
Public,
and fewer. By the way, this phone no longer works. It's still got a phone in it.
Save our seals fund.
It's been disconnected.
Phone box.
It's been
We are
disconnected
therefore
for some
proposing
time.
to
but I'm
remove
guessing
a phone
that because it's
service
such a
at this
light phone box,
location.
they've decided to keep the phone in there even though it's not working.
Goodbye.
There's still phone boxes on Islay that
So
still
folks, I
work,
can confirm
but eventually
the,
there will be.
the phone doesn't work anymore.
And I'm sure they'll be hopefully used for something else.
No longer
Like
works.
a lot of villages around Britain, turn them into libraries, resuscitation. I can't remember what you call them now. To resuscitate you if you've had a heart attack. They put stuff like that in there. They're used for all kinds of things, really. Mostly like little libraries and villages and stuff. They put book exchanges in. Anyway, that's the phone box of Islay. So, folks, at the time of filming this little house here was for sale. I saw a for sale sign, and it is not that far from that phone box we just looked at, just down up the road from it. And basically, it's a house on its own. There's no village here. It's just this house, and it's overlooking a loch, which is quite dry at the moment. Actually, probably quite a lot of flies, but it's in a really beautiful area. I wonder how much it's going for, but yeah, yeah, that house was for sale. Okay, folks, well, this cairn marks the spot where Lachlan MacLean fell in battle. It's where he died in the Battle of Craighouse, on this very spot. It was a Scottish clan battle fought on the 5th of August 1598 on the Isle of Islay. Kilnave, Chapel and Cross. The chapel has a bloody history, being the site of an autocracy committed on the 5th of August 1598 during the Battle of Craighouse. The surrounding churchyard is home to many grave slabs, which probably date back to the early period of the chapel's life. Most of these are now eroded beyond legibility. One West Highlands style grave slab, complete with the carvings of a sword, surrounded by foliage, has survived and in relatively good condition. much earlier than the chapel, whose remains are on the view today, is the Kilnave cross. The Kilnave cross is thought to have been erected here in the late 700s. That cross was put there in the late 700s. Amazing. Okay folks, well now it's time to find a place to camp, which I think I have up on these moors, and it turns out it was a fantastic place to camp. This was just a few kilometres up the road from the chapel, and it is a trail you can do, and at the top, when you go off the road, up the trail, up the hill, at the top there's some seats, and it is actually a really good place for camping, just along here. Okay, well here's tonight's wild camping spot, and as usual it's quite windy, which is good for me because that means no midges, and I can actually cook outside the tent without being eaten alive or eating thousands and thousands of little flies. They can get so bad. At one point in the break, they were so bad I could actually feel them going into my lungs. My eyes were going blurred from the little flies, little buggers they were. Okay, so now we've left in the morning and we're leaving to get to the main town on Islay. I think I was on my way to, yeah, I'm now on my way to get to the main town to resupply on food and then get the ferry from Islay to Jura, I believe. There you go, there's the whisky shop in the main town of Islay. Okay folks, well this is Port Ask, that's probably how you pronounce it, Port Ask or whatever, on Islay, and now I'm on the ferry boat from Port Ask from Islay to go to Jura. So basically this little ferry is the Jura ferry, which you get from Islay. It's the main way of getting there all year round, but there is a little ferry that goes from the mainland only in the summer months to the main town on Jura. Okay, so now we're in Jura here. This is the ferry port, main ferry port in Jura, the one that's open all year round. And I'm just waiting to get the bus to the start of a hike I'm going to do called Evans Walk, which is a really awesome walk down to a estate on a really remote beach. You're going to be able to see loads of wildlife and stuff, but anyway, just let's see how the story goes, shall we? Okay folks, well this is the start of Evans Walk to Glenbatrick Bay. It's a walk over fairly boggy terrain and pathless a lot of the time. And this time of year in August it's all overgrown, so it makes it that little bit harder, and plus you've got all the midges as well. Walkers welcome throughout the year, no mountain bikes. Evans Walk, up this way. Tell you what folks, it's so hot. Even I'm wearing this hoodie just to save me some weight, but it is hot. It was quite breezy down there, but now it's gone hot. So I walking across moorland now. The path is supposed to get better. At the moment it's not too bad. I don't think they've had too much rain here. Luckily, because I'm wearing trainers, I've got no sticks, so. But this can be pretty boggy, I think. Tell you what folks, I've just been through loads of bogs and tussocks. The bogs are not too deep so far, not ones I've stood on anyway, but with this obviously big heavy bag, it makes you sink into the peat a lot easier. And I don't have a stick, so I don't know what I'm going to do about river crossings. That's not good. Maybe I can find a stick on the beach, hopefully. The path is supposed to get better. Well folks, that was an interesting walk through all this, but with trainers and no stick and a heavy backpack, I normally wear boots and have a stick when I've got a heavy backpack. When I wear trail runners, obviously when I'm running, or I've got a light backpack for hike on, I prefer boots for this sort of terrain. Problem with boots though, they stay wet forever, they never dry, as these will, but they're not giving me any ankle support for the amount of weight I'm carrying on my back. That's the problem. So river crossings, if it's going to be pissing down the rain without a stick and this weight on my back, is going to be tricky with these trainers. Okay folks, well, why do I use this satellite phone over a PLB, a personal location beacon for instance? So, well, the difference is, and I think it's a big difference, is that with this phone, if I've got an emergency, I can phone the emergency services and tell them exactly what the problem is. I can say, oh, I've got a broken leg or I've had a heart attack, and send the helicopter as soon as possible. Now if I've got a personal location beacon and I set that off, the emergency services ain't going to have a clue what's wrong with me. They might think, oh, we can send this guy a ground, like a ground rescue, like by foot. Now if they send a ground rescue by foot, by the time they get to me I'll be dead if it's an extreme emergency. But at least with the satellite phone I can tell them that, look mate, if I don't have rescue here within 20 minutes, I'm probably going to be dead. So that's why I think a satellite phone is better over a PLB. Plus the fact, how many times does people set off emergency beacons by accident. I know not with PLBs, probably not quite so much, but with those like subscription beacons, you know, like Spot and stuff like that, how many times do people accidentally press the emergency call out thing for that? And there's no way known for the emergency services to know what type of emergency situation it is. So and this satellite phone is so light, and it's on pay-as-you-go. It's the cheapest, one of the cheapest, I'll say the cheapest satellite network you can be on as well. So yeah, I really do recommend getting a satellite phone. You can get them cheap. Just have a look around. There's some cheap ones out there and on pay-as-you-go. I wonder if there's any otters in that rock. I have to say, I'm really enjoying this walk. If you do go to Jura, I definitely recommend this walk. Start bit was a little bit tricky. Really, as long as you watch where you step, you're alright. If you've got a small backpack, yeah, it's not too much of a problem, but if you're carrying too much shock items, it's definitely worth it. There's definitely a wild feeling about this track. It's beautiful. It's all the way from Islay and Jura here on this track. Whereas Islay was quite busy. Jura's not quite as busy. It's only got one shop, I believe, and one shop in the whole island. Whereas Islay's got quite a few. So one or two supermarkets as well. This is beautiful.
There's another one. Path is coming a bit overgrown. I've got to watch where I'm stepping. Still see the path, I think. I hope. It's hard to say where the path is actually. I think it's this way. Hope it is. Hope this is the path. Always send the drone up, I suppose, and have a look above. It's got other uses other than doing my videos. I'm presuming I'm going up this way. Watch out for adders. Got no gators. It's the trainers. This is going to be fun when it's wet. I'm going to get totally soaked in all this. Hopefully there's no snakes. Yeah, it's getting more overgrown. I think this is the path. Looks like it. Hope it doesn't get any worse than this. Let's see. As long as I get through all this, the bogs and this stuff before it gets dark. Don't really want to be walking in this in the dark really, because it's quite hard to see where you're going in the dark on this sort of terrain. Cross this river. It's not raining, but when it rains that's going to fill right up, so I'm not sure how I'm going to cross that on the way back if it's been raining, because I've just got these on and no stick. I'll have to find a stick for river crossing. Well, I think I don't know actually, is it that way?
Bit of an emergency camping spot there. It's dry, it's a fair way up from the burn. I think even in quite a storm it would be safe from flooding. So yeah, nice little spot, sheltered from the wind as well. And I've got to carry on going this way. Well, I'm absolutely knackered. I think I can see coming up to the see the shoreline. I don't know. Can't see the hunting lodge yet. There's a hunting lodge on the beach. I can't see it. As I get more tired, it becomes harder to see the path. Ah, shit. Right. Down through this way, I think. Be careful where I walk now, because there's a bit of a drop here. Okay. Let's see if I should go through. Maybe over there. Looks like I made it, folks. There's a boat down there. There's a house down there. Ah, shit. Not quite what I expected. Yeah. So folks, I walked from over there and now walked down here. This doesn't look like the place. Maybe I've gone the wrong way. I have to say, guys, this is not what I was expecting. There's a house down there, it looks like it's lived in, but I think it's a hunting lodge. I must be thinking of a different place. There's people out fishing, I don't know if it's their place. And the only place to camp really is kind of down there. Fucked up big time here. I don't even know if this is safe walking on this bit here. Okay, I don't know if that's someone's private house or a hunting lodge. It looks like a private house to me. I think I've got the hunting lodge mixed up with another beach on Jura. Not good as it, but luckily it looks like there's somewhere around from that house to put a tent up around here, hopefully. It's quite interesting. The pebbles are way up from the beach, really high up on the beach. So someone's obviously not put these here. These are naturally. I'm just thinking, well, either it's because the sea levels were higher, or the earth has gone up, levitated, or the sea's gone lower. I don't know. It's really beautiful. And again, I can't really do any drying flying because someone's also over there, and I don't know if they like people camping up here or not. I'm sure I read somewhere like no, maybe not, I don't know. You can see a deer. This is incredible. And on the other side of this has got the stones like this high up. I don't know what that's about though. Yeah. I mean, this must have been by the sea at some point, but this is right up from the sea. Weird. Interesting, very interesting. Right, I'm walking back down here. To camp. I think it's better. The caves pretty much didn't even see them. I ain't walking over any more hills. Lovely sunset, by the way. I love these rocks are still fascinating me. So beautiful along here. Anyway, I saw a place to camp anyway. Thank God. And there's my camping spot for tonight. Out of sight from that house, so I think you'll be alright here. It's beautiful.
Well folks, it's been pissing down off and on. Oh, by the way, that is where a mouse chewed a hole through my tent when I did West Highland Way with a friend, and we stopped at Glen ski resort campsite, and mouse chewed the hole to get to the food. That's a repair job I did it. But I'm just sat in here at the moment. There are thousands of midges outside my tent. All I want to do is make some food and coffee. But as soon as I open that door, I'm going to be just let the midges in. The rain stopped now and it's not windy. But as soon as I go out there, I've got my midge gloves on. Some midge gloves. Yeah, I do recommend gloves. Stop your hand because your hands get bitten by the midges as well. There's shitloads of midges. I'm getting bitten to death. I was going to do a time lapse of taking the tent down. Maybe I will. Nah, to be honest, I think I just want to get the tent down and get the hell out of here, because I'm absolutely getting bitten even with all this stuff on. And it could rain any minute, and the burns will start to get quite big for crossing without a stick. So I'm gonna get ready to go. Okay folks, I'm packed up and ready to go. Getting bitten to death already. I was going to stay another day, but the midges here are horrendous, and to be honest, the weather could be worse tomorrow. Okay folks, we may notice I'm not wearing any waterproof gear, even though it's raining. Well, it is summer. It's quite mild for here, I guess. I'm not cold at all. And if I put the waterproofs on, it's not going to. I'll just sweat, and they'll leak at some point anyway. I only put the waterproofs on if it's cold, and the clothes I'm wearing dry really quickly, so I don't see the point in putting waterproofs on. Plus the fact, because I'm walking as well, it's creating body heat, and I sweat a lot if I'm wearing waterproof. So in the end, I think the beach down there is privately owned and private residence. I thought it was like a hunting lodge, but I must be thinking of a different beach. There's a track that goes to the other side of the beach you can walk along as well. That might have been better, but I got here late and I was absolutely tired, so it's a shame. Maybe I'll stop a bit further up. I don't know. I think I should carry on going up because the weather's supposed to be wet all weekend, which means those burns could rise too much. Difficult to cross without the stick. So there's the beach down there and the house. It must be a croft, or is it a hunting lodge? There's some boats out there. I don't know. Can you camp down here? Right, I may have made a wrong turn in here. But I think I can go along this way and then up that way. It'd be easier, maybe.
So folks, this is where I put the tent up by the beach, and the people who own the house or staying there, or not sure what, they've got a boat and they're going back later, an hour or so. They've offered me a lift to the road on their boat rather than me having to board the moors, because apparently it's going to be quite bad weather tonight. So I decided I'm going to take them up on their offer. They even offered to take me to the Bothy, which is on the other side of there. Looking at the map, it looks like it's a bit of a mission to get from the Bothy to the road. So tomorrow, if I went to the Bothy, if the weather's bad, I don't think it'd be too much fun walking from the Bothy to the road. So I've decided I'm going to go back to the road, and it looks like there's a little bay. I might be able to camp up by the road. At least it's not such a mission to get back from there. So that's a shame. It's gone alright at the moment, but it's just been raining for ages. Incredible here. It's a shame I've got to go. I think it's the best decision. Amazing. Okay, so thanks to the folks working at the estate there, they offered me a free boat ride back to the nearest road, which I took, and got back okay, and it was a lovely boat ride, saw some seals and interesting geology on the way, so yeah, it was fantastic. Check that out, folks, beautiful. Oh, by the way, I've got a lift on the boat, so that was good. Now I'm on the other side of the coast again, but it's not looking like there's anywhere to camp. I might go back to the village because I could do with some resupplies. Yeah, folks, I've got a lift on the I thought it was a fishing boat. This boat is it's an estate boat for people working on the estate. There were fishing boats, I think, but this was just for the workers going back to the mainland, back to the civilization, I guess, on the island, if you can call it that. This is an A road, by the way. This is the A road. So yeah, because it's a pretty remote area on the island, so the only way to get to it is either by boat or a really long, a few hours walk through up really peaty sort of like track in places. Some of it's okay, some of it's a bit peaty, but like I keep saying, it's supposed to be raining a lot tonight, but I'll just look at the forecast. There's supposed to be no rain tomorrow, but the track would have been not very nice to walk in back, I don't think. So I think I made the right decision. Okay folks, well this is the Jura Hotel campsite. In front of you can see Jura Hotel and Jura Distillery. This campsite is £5 a night for a tent like this and one person, and plus a £5 key deposit for the showers. Okay folks, so here's Standing Stone by the Jura Distillery, and they make the famous Jura whiskey. Okay folks, well this is the Jura Distillery up here in the morning. You can have a tour of the distillery I believe, but at the time I think they were doing some renovation work or something, or some work on it, so I'm not sure if the tours were going ahead then, but normally they are. I think there was a little shop there you can buy your whiskey from, although I didn't have a look. I wish I had. I thought I'd have the chance, but I was in a hurry to do some other things. Now this is the Jura Distillery. From the back of it you can see the chimney there of it, and down there is the sea and the back of the Jura Hotel there. Got the Jura Community Shop, old phone box. I don't think that's in use anymore. No, that's not in use anymore. I don't know what time this got opens. And then you've got the Jura Hall, Village Hall there. Down here, with view of the harbour. There's a passenger ferry in summertime only that goes to the mainland from this village. But there's a ferry all year round that goes from Islay. This one here, this little ferry, it's only a small boat. Goes to the mainland only in the summer from here. And up there you've got the Antlers Tea Room, Bistro, Heritage and Crafts.
Well folks, I'm going to be camping on the beach on the Corran path apparently. Don't know if that's how you pronounce it. So folks, at Corran Sands. There's quite a few flies there, it's not very windy. So I'm thinking about camping here. There's like a bench. Some information about it here. Traditionally, the north end of the small Isles Bay was used for deep water anchorage for Jura. You can pause that and read it if you want. I can't be bothered to read all of it. There's some interesting arty things there. Okay folks, this is my setup for charging up my Maverick Pro. I've got a RAV 24 watt solar panel there and an Omi 20 battery attached to it, charging the Maverick Pro drone battery and controller, and I'm charging my phone from from the solar. Just about like boil some water for some noodles.
Okay folks, well, just going to take a look at this sail ship down here on Jura, and then I'm going to head off towards the road to hitchhike to Jura Ferry Port to get to Islay, get the ferry to Islay, where I'm going to be doing a walk to the only bothy on Islay. So yeah, that should be interesting. Where normally you see sheep, donkeys, horses and deer on the moorland, not pigs. Apparently there's pigs on the moorland here, and they're good for turning over and fertilising the ground. So yeah, that's quite interesting. You can pause that and read it if you want. So yeah, here annoyingly the fence was locked, it was padlocked, so I had to get under it. I'm guessing that's to stop poachers of the deer. I'm guessing this walk is more easier in May, when it's not overgrown like it is now in near to August. Okay, I think I'm going the right way. I am going the right way, I'm just trying to figure out if it's the best way. There are no actual proper paths, there's just like a few trails, like probably animal footpaths every now and then. Absolutely stunning remote beach down here, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. folks, in the end I made a run for it. I didn't know whether the tide was coming in or out, and the flies were getting on my nerves at the tent. Put the tent up because of the rain, but the wind stopped. I just don't want to be stuck inside the bloody tent, and it's like the tent is the size of a tomb. It's just like a fancy bivvy bag. I want to be laid in that all day. So yeah, I'm going to the Bothy. The Bothy's just around the corner. Well, I think it is. At least I think it is, but say it's never that easy, is it? Let's hope it is. It's not a hard track. It's just the time of year and the flies and everything's overgrown, so you can't actually see any. You can't see where you're walking, and you need a stick really. Make sure you not put your foot down a crevice or a burn or a hole or something, break your ankle. Looks like I've arrived just in time. Oh. It's starting to rain again. Had the tent up last time. This time I'm going to Bothy. Don't know if anyone's there. There could be people on kayaks. Okay folks, this is what they call a bothy in the UK. We have some in very northern England, some in parts of Wales, and most of them are in Scotland. This is just one of them. This is the only bothy that's on Islay, and you can't really visit it between September and February because that's when deer hunting season is, unless you call the estate. But any time outside of those dates, it should be fine. You don't need to call. Now, basically, a bothy is what some people call a mountain hut. It's a free shelter for anybody. You can stay officially. You can stay in them for up to 2 days at a time. You're allowed to stay in them for 2 days. But of course, if it's a serious storm for more than 2 days, you just stay in it until the storm's over, and hopefully you got enough food supplies or someone rescues you. But hope you should have enough food supplies if you're going out in the wild, by the way. You don't want to have to rely on people to rescue you. That's the last thing you want to do. So this is flying over the Bothy just now. As you can see, it's in a remote location. Most of them are. Well, they all are really. The ones that are not in remote locations usually end up being vandalised, unfortunately, and go out of use. Well, look folks, got here in time. It's pissing down, weather's really shit. This is what bothies are all about. Get there just in time, don't have to sit in the bloody tent with flies trying to attack me. It's perfect. Although someone could turn up later on a boat, I suppose, because you could get here by boat as well. So I don't know, I'm going to look at the guest book. If you're going to be staying at a bothy, never leave any rubbish behind. The only thing you can really leave behind is something that'll be useful in emergency. Like I guess you could leave a sleeping bag, things like that. Food, as long as it's sealed, like in a tin or in a package, not like food that's going to go off. And if you leave food and you find food that someone's left behind in the bothy and you use it, you've got to take that packing out with you and dispose of it to the nearest disposal point, because who's going to clear it up? You're the only people who can clear it up because it's in a remote location. And if you don't, you're just going to attract rats, mice, and the place is just going to be a shit tip. So yeah, it's the hikers, the people who go to it, who keep it in shape, and leave things for other people such as food, which is handy for emergencies. Many a times I've been running low on food and I found food at Bothy's, even fuel. And if you use the fuel that's at a Bothy, you're going to have to take that can with you, because if it's a fuel can, because no one's going to dispose of it for you.
I'm reading a copy of Scottish Hostiller. This is in the Bothy on Islay. Never heard of this magazine before. I think you get it free if you're a member of YHA, the Scottish YHA. They call it SYHA, obviously, for obvious reasons. In the end, I didn't have a fire here last night because someone turned up about 8 o'clock or 9. A girl turned up. She was from Edinburgh, she said. She's just left now. She actually walked along the coast, I think. From Portnahaven. I don't know, she walked along quite a long bit of the coast. It's pretty fucking hell, that's probably pretty hardcore actually. And now she's going to walk some of the coast back up to Port Aggie. I don't know if that's how you say Port Aggie, but fair play to her. But she's got a small backpack, but still, it's so overgrown at the moment because of the time of year. I might go along the coast a bit, but then again I might go back what direction I came in. At least I know the way back then. It's not the best way, but at least I know I can get back that way. It says no junk mail. Funny. There's some information about I think the people who built this Bothy in the memory of this guy over here. I can't pronounce that name, sorry. And it was restored in the name of Mike Chadwick, who loved the mountains and sea, and fell in Glencoe in December 1998. And there's some deer antlers there, as you usually get in these Bothies. And the fireplace that never was so well. So yeah, you never know if people are going to turn up. There's all the books again. There's a picture of what it looked like before it was restored.
Okay folks, so this is the GPS I use. It's not exactly the latest in GPSs, but I've got OS maps on it, and it tells me my location, and it's got all the contours, and sometimes it has the routes on there, or you put the route on there. You got all waypoints, it records where you're walking, so if you do get lost you can walk back on yourself. You can put in any trails you want, download them and follow them as you wish, and it's pretty hard to get lost with it, and it's never failed on me. So I just got back to the locked deer gate, padlocked deer gate again, but it's quite easy to get under. But with my bag I have to take it apart. I've climbed over deer fences in the past, it's not that difficult really with a big bag. This sign was a little bit confusing because it says deer stalking in progress, whereas in fact online and other sources I found it says in this area deer stalking is from September to February, so I didn't bother ringing, but it's a very confusing sign that. So folks, I'm in Portnahaven now, on Islay. Just got the bus here. Apparently there's a post-path walk, so check that out. There's loads of seals here. If you want to see seals, there's quite a few out in the harbour. I can't pick them up on the camera because I don't see them. Beach down there, the beach. It's beautiful. It's
kind of reminded me of Cornwall a bit actually. So folks, this is a BT phone box, still in use. Minimum fee now is 60p, a 30-minute local call or national cash call for only 30p. Fee of 60p, sorry. And wait, see if it works. Yep, it's working, and it takes cash as well. It actually takes coins. Oops. Sorry, can't end its life prematurely. Yeah, but yeah, so still in use. Like this, I got rocks on this shed so it doesn't blow away. That's how windy it gets here. And back to the town with a view, I think, of the beach down there. Yeah. So I got the bus into the town just down there. There's a bus stop over there as well.
Okay folks, well I'm heading back to Port Ellen on Islay. I'm on Islay now, just leaving the campsite at Port Charlotte, which is actually a good campsite. It's £9 a night for a person in a tent anyway, and you get the showers of no extra charge, and they're really warm. You can adjust the temperature. There's no actual time limit, but they do say try not to use them too much because there's obviously limited water supply here, which is fair enough. There are plugs to charge your devices, quite a few plugs, so that's good. So yeah, quite happy with that. There's quite a good view when there is a view. It's a bit misty today though, and so I'm just walking to go and get the bus. The bus does stop right outside the campsite, but I'm going to walk into the village just because I've got a while for it to come anyway. So this is called Portmore, this place by the way. It's just outside of the main bit of Port Charlotte. Well folks, just waiting in Port Charlotte for the bus to Port Ellen to get my ferry back to the mainland and then eventually head back to Oxfordshire. Lovely little place, this Port Charlotte. There's a bus stop there. Well folks, just coming to the ferry terminal. I'm waiting for the boat, it's not here yet. I just went into record here in Port Ellen on Islay, and it's just before 10 o'clock, and she wouldn't have served me a bottle of whiskey, Jura Journey I wanted to get, because it's before 10 o'clock apparently. You can't buy alcohol here until after 10 o'clock. It's a Scottish law. I kind of remember it, I kind of forgot it, but yeah, it's a shame. So I'll have to get some whiskey on the mainland in Scotland. Mainland Scotland. So folks, that's it. That's it for the video. It's a very long one, I know. Maybe I should have done it in sections. Let me know if you prefer me to do videos like this in sections, such as I could have, I suppose, one documentary on the Bothy alone, or the hike, Evans walk hike, but I actually thought I used the camera a lot less, so I thought I could do it all in one go. I think it's kind of worked out, so hopefully you didn't all fall asleep. I try to keep it sort of a little bit exciting with the music. But obviously if you're going to Jura or Islay, I'd imagine it's quite interesting to you, so you can know what to expect and all that sort of thing. So anyway, yeah, that's it. That was me going back on the transport, on the boat and the trains and the buses and all that. It takes over 24 hours to get back to Oxfordshire. Anyway, I'm back now, and it took me ages to edit this bloody video, so I hope you enjoy it, and enjoy the slideshow.